Hello children, welcome to EVS class. Today we are going to start a new chapter. Who invented the temperature scale? Who invented the temperature scale? Here we are going to discuss about some scientists. Those who invented the different temperature scale. Are you ready for it? Yes, very good. Look here. You know who is this? Who is this? Yes, this is a scientist who invented the first temperature scale. You know his name? Yes, his name is Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit. Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit. He invented the first temperature scale. Okay. After his invention of his temperature scale, scientists could not accept it. Scientists could not agree to his temperature scale. That's why Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit invented a new temperature scale, my dear. He invented a new temperature scale. Okay, in that temperature scale, the water freezes into ice. The water freezes into ice at 32 degree. And the water boils at 212 degree. That means, according to Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit's temperature scale, the water freezes into ice at 32 degree, and it boils at 212 degrees. Okay, clear? This scale is called Fahrenheit scale, my dear. This scale is called Fahrenheit scale. Nowadays we are using this scale in some countries. Some countries are using the Fahrenheit scale. For example, USA is using the Fahrenheit scale. That Fahrenheit scale invented by Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit. In his scale, the water freezes into ice at 32 degree, and the water boils at 212 degree. Understood, right? I hope you understood about the Fahrenheit scale, and I hope you understood about the contribution of Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit. Clear to our science? Okay, my dears? Yes, very good. Now here is the next scientist, my dear. His name is Anders Celsius. He also was very interested to measure the temperature. That's why he invented, Anders Celsius also invented a new temperature scale. Okay, in the temperature scale, he suggested that water boils at 0 degrees Celsius. And it melts at 100 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 0 degrees Celsius and it melts at 100 degrees Celsius. When we heard about that, okay, what you felt? Yes, okay. Their water boils at 0 degrees Celsius, right? And it melts at 100 degrees Celsius. Clear? You have a doubt. Now you have a doubt in your mind, no? Okay, that means boiling happens only by high temperature. Boiling should happen at 100 degrees Celsius, right? And the melting should happen at 0 degrees Celsius, right? Yes, but no, when he invented his temperature scale, first he found that water boils at 0 degrees Celsius and it melts at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we have a doubt in our mind, right? Okay, the same doubt happened in between the scientists of that time. In the mind of the scientist, Okay, so they questioned about it. That's why Anders Celsius reverse his temperature scale. Reverses his temperature scale, and he made like that the water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and it melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Nowadays we are using such type of temperature scale, right? Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and it melts at 0 degrees Celsius. That temperature scale is called Celsius scale. So we can say that in Celsius scale invented by Anders Celsius. In that Celsius scale, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and it melts. Okay, ice melts at 0 degree Celsius. Ice melts at 0 degree Celsius. Clear? Okay, ready? Understood, right? Yes, very good. And one point also we want to learn, my dear. In the Celsius scale, no, every time we measure the temperature by degree Celsius. Temperature can be measured in degree Celsius in Celsius scale. That's why we are saying like this: water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. That means in Celsius scale, the temperature measured by degree Celsius. Understood, right? Yes, very good. Now, here is the third scientist, Lord Kelvin. His name is Lord Kelvin. Kelvin and other scientists were researching about that, the lowest temperature possible or not. So they started to research about it. At last, they invented a temperature scale by which they can measure the temperature of cold things. And that things, particles do not move. We know that cold things always have lowest temperature, right? And their particles do not move from them. Okay, so they want to measure the temperature of such type of things by their temperature scale. Clear? Okay, that temperature only possible by 0 degree. The cold things always have 0 degree temperature, right? 0 degree temperature. Such type of temperature is called absolute zero, my dear. Absolute zero means the temperature at which things are so cold and their particles do not move. The temperature at which things are so cold and their particles do not move. That temperature is called absolute zero. That temperature is 0 degree. So absolute zero also invented by Lord Kelvin. You know that, right? Okay. Scale is termed as Kelvin scale. According to scale, water freezes at 273 degree and boils at 373 degree. According to Kelvin scale, water freezes at 273 degree and boils at 373 degree. So these are about the contributions of scientists at the time of invention of different temperature scale. I hope you understood about it, right? Yes, very good. Now let us discuss about the questions of this chapter. Okay, first question: why do you think scientists needed to invent a temperature scale instead of just deciding if things were hot or cold? This question means that what is the need of a temperature scale? What is the need of a temperature scale or thermometer? You know the answer? Yes, I will give you, my dear. The temperature scale can give us accurate temperature of a thing. Okay, it will give us the accurate temperature of a thing. That's why the scientists needed to invent a temperature scale instead of just deciding if things were hot or cold. You got it right? Yes, very good. Second question: how did Celsius decide on his scale? How did he later change it? First of all, let us discuss about the first question here, my dear. How did Celsius decide on his scale? You know that Celsius first suggested a temperature scale from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. In that temperature scale, water boiling at 0 degrees Celsius and ice melting at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, likewise he decides his temperature scale, right? Water boiling at 0 degrees Celsius and ice melting at 100 degrees Celsius. Likewise, Celsius decides on his temperature scale. Okay, yes, very good. Now B question here. How did he later change it? How did he later change it? You know that he reversed the temperature scale, right? He reversed the temperature scale. That means he made 0 degree the temperature at which ice melts and 100 degree the temperature at which water boils. Celsius reversed the temperature scale in which the ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius and water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Now the third question. Why did Kelvin invent the Kelvin scale? First question is here. Why did Kelvin invent the Kelvin scale? And second question is here. What is absolute zero? What is absolute zero? Okay. Now let us have a discussion about the first question. Why did Kelvin invent the Kelvin scale? Answer is Kelvin invented the temperature scale, Kelvin scale, to measure the things that are so cold that their particles do not move at all. He invented the Kelvin scale to measure the things that are so cold that their particles do not move at all. Right? Yes. Then what is absolute zero? What is absolute zero? The temperature at which the temperature at which the things are so cold that their particles do not move. That temperature is called absolute zero. The temperature at which particles so cold, at which things are so cold that their particles do not move. That temperature is called absolute zero. Absolute zero. It is 0 degree or minus 273 degree. You got it? Yes, very good. Now the fourth question. What similarity can you see in Kelvin's and Celsius temperature scale? What similarity can you see in Kelvin's and Celsius temperature scales? And B question is here. How are the two scales different? How are the two scales different? First question answer is the similarity of Kelvin and Celsius scale is both the scales helps to measure the temperature of cold things. Both the scales helps to measure the temperature of cold things. Okay. Now the answer of B question. How are the two scales different? The Celsius scale helps to measure the temperature of hot and cold things, right? Celsius scale helps to measure the temperature of hot and cold things. But here no, the Kelvin scale helps to measure the temperature of cold things, right? Kelvin scale helps to measure the temperature of cold things. You got it? Yes. Now the fifth question. Which temperature scale do you think is easier to use? Say why. Which one, my dear? Can you say me answer? Yes, the Celsius scale is easier to use, right? Why? Yes, it helps to measure the temperature from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. It is very easier. It is very easier. It helps to measure the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. That's why it is very easy to use. Celsius scale is very easy to use. I hope you understood answer of all the questions now, my dears. Got it right? Yes, very good. Keep it up. Thank you.